Hello, everyone. It's Val. All right, we're done with summer playing. Back to the job at hand. And here she is, Miss Shapen, otherwise known as Notations number 16. Why do I call her Miss Shapen? Notice I said Miss. Look at her. She's so packed full. I couldn't help myself again. She is just misshapen with all the stuff I stuffed her with. So, anyway, let's get down to it. She's got a little seam binding tie closure. Of course, the seam binding is vintage, but in wonderful shape. And of course, I put her little tag on her, as you saw. And she's got her little, I don't know what these are called, tokens. But anyway, or number token, maybe. She's got her little 16, her metal 16 there. And I just tied the seam binding so that you can take that off or put it wherever you wish to, or just leave it there. But anyway, yeah. She's done. So she's got a vintage button here, and really secure. This vintage button is she's secure, within the cover. So I stitched it in and I glued the threads and made sure that it was so secure. And of course, some cloth for the spine, some decorations with cloth, and little portrait person there, which I glazed. See, you can see the shine there. And on the back, I used some beautiful cloth that I love. For years, I collected Martha Nagley cloth. It was my favorite. And so I got lots of it, so I'm going to use it. I'm not saving it. We're using it. And of course, the little eyelets, which is the place where I threaded the seam binding through. I'll show that to you. And I did some sewing and, of course, lots and lots of collaging. So what are the specifics? I'm reading some notes because I have to write notes to myself because I can't remember anything. Of course, she's 4x6, so she's the Notation series, same size, 4x6 inches. This one weighs over 12.5 ounces. She's over 12.5 ounces. And of course, she's one signature. And she's got within the cover, not counting the cover, but within the cover, she's got 100-page sides. So yeah, and she kind of flops open like that if you wish to display her like that or even write in her. Okay, so let's open her up. Let me check my notes. I think I got everything that you needed to know. I usually put a pocket or a belly band within the cover by either or both or whatever, but got to load them up. So in here, I made a little tag. I don't know where this came from. I think it was an offcut from postcard or something. I have no idea. It was floating around. So I just took stuff that was floating around as per usual and just made a little belly band and sprayed it or whatever I did with it. I don't actually remember because it's been floating around for a while. And stuck some bits and bobs and pieces. This is a little old piece. I found a whole stack of them. So I'm going to include that in there too. And just decorated it up. It's very plain, but you can do whatever you want with it, or you can write on it or cover it or collage it, or that is up to you. Found this gorgeous little photograph of a house. I just love this photograph. And it's got some writing on the back. I don't know what it says because I can't see it through my phone, but it goes back in there. And a little envelope with the actual letter in here. It's old. I do not know the year. I can't read it. Probably could tell from the 3-cent stamp approximately what year it was. I didn't do the research, but the whole letter is in there and intact. And I did read it, and I remember thinking, oh, that is so interesting. I don't remember the part that was interesting, but you get to discover that. And I did a little belly band on this page. And the cool thing about this belly band is, I'm going to show you, you can totally pull it right off. So that's so cool. Maybe it'll work if I pull out all the bits and pieces here. And I will show you what these are. But yeah, this just slides right off. See that? A little removable belly band, and it's stitched. So it should stay really well intact. So there you go. And it's good that you could write on the page too, on both sides, without having the belly band interfere with your writing or whatever you want to do on the page. A couple little pieces there from a book, I think. This is from an old book, and this is a piece. I don't know if it's from an old book or if I harvested it out of a modern book. I can't remember. I'm sorry, guys. Here's just a little piece with an old stamp that I put on there. Just stuck in there. And here is part of a book with some washi tape, bits and pieces. Here's another little piece. Oh, I made it into a little booklet. I couldn't remember what I did. Isn't that crazy? Can't remember what I did. So, yeah, I remember now. I wanted to protect this little old antique piece of paper from 1854. That's what I did. So I just made this into like a little book. I put this little piece of stained paper here. And yeah, I thought that would work real good, right like that. I remember that now. And this is probably from the Maine Antiques Digest, which I have drawers full of stuff that I harvested out of that. So I'm going to stick that back in there like that, really nice. All right, we'll move on. Here's a page from a vintage flower book, which I did a few little bits and pieces on. I like these ladies. Of course, these are from Tim Holtz, as you well know. But I don't know if you can see this. It's so pretty. It's like ladies having a picnic or having fun. Looks like by a lake or maybe by the ocean. I don't know. But I thought, oh, that was so cool behind these girls for a little tuck. Like they just had to pose for the photographer because they were having such a good time and they wanted to make a memory. And I think this guy is over here peeking at them, getting a little look-see of these pretty ladies. So this is a little belly band over here, and I just put a couple little pieces in there, but I did some cloth collage on this page to make a belly band. So just slip that back down in there like that. He's going back to his peeking. Well, we shall turn the page. And I made just a little belly band out of a piece that was floating around on my work table. I think this is a Tim Holtz piece. What do you call it? Transparency? Yeah. And so I put this little Tim Holtz card behind there, which I added some of the tape to. And this piece is from 1915. Oh, there's another piece in there too. Gosh, I forget what I do. Oh yes, I have a whole load of these from a doctor, and not a doctor that I knew, but from his estate, and not written on. So it was really cool. So I just tried to get as close to the date as this book was made and put that in there like that. That was my thought on that. And of course, a little Tim Holtz piece too. And in here, in this little tuck, I don't know if you can see that. It is shiny. Isn't that pretty? It's just a little tiny Victorian card from something. And I just thought it was so pretty. So I had to put it up there for an upper tuck. Just put a little Tim Holtz card there and another piece harvested from the Maine Antiques Digest. I don't know what I was thinking when I did all these bits and pieces, but I think I was thinking about spring and summer and enjoying spring and summer. Here's a little antique piece here. I don't know if this is a trade card. Oh, it was taken out of a scrapbook, and I just left a little piece of it there as is, intact, because it certainly is writable. And I thought it would be really cool. And I don't know if you noticed, but whenever there's a music page, for some reason I end up hurting birds on the music page. Here's another little piece there too, clipped to the other side. So I stained a lot of papers in here. And in this belly band, which is not removable, I had another little summary piece there that I wanted to put in there. A little blank tag, pretty well blank, good for writing on, with a little piece of old cloth on it. And I have a lot of pieces of wallpaper, and it's like, what am I gonna do with these pieces of wallpaper? I can't throw them away. And so I just made a little journaling card out of that. And it feels so nice out of that piece of wallpaper. All right, so here's a page that I printed. I think it's from some of my botanical imagery. That's where that came from. But I probably added bits and pieces from other imagery too. That's what it looks like to me. Did a little bit of collage on there and put some journaling cards in here, which are much needed in a journal, as you can see. And I shall put that back in there like that. I'm actually sort of sitting here in the dark, but I'm hoping it'll come out good on video. Yeah, so I think I added a little antique stamp there. Can't leave well enough alone, can we? Here's a little flip here. It's held down by this little tuck piece that I put here, but you can journal. Can you see? You can journal here, and then I put a little journaling card in there. I hope you guys can see. I looked away from my camera, and I just put a little piece of paper there that I stamped on and just embellished, and I put a little piece of fabric there. And again, some of it is stitched. Another belly band, because you can't have enough belly bands, and put a little journaling card there. This is $18.99, something something, with some stamps on it. So great for writing as well. Put a little fabric washi here too. It wasn't needed, but I just wanted to do something on that page. Here's another little belly band here, little stamp piece that I made. Just a simple stamp piece. Made a pocket out of some more of that transparency stuff from Tim Holtz. It might be plastic, but it's transparency. And some more, excuse me, some more cards I put in there, and a little old photograph with a little piece of black on there from a scrapbook. And I just didn't want to remove it. I didn't want to cover it. I just left it as is. I just love how all the people are posing, and I love her skirt. And I made this old page from a ledger, some type of ledger. It says railroad, so it probably was from railroad company. And just put a little, this is taken from a book. Made that into a simple tag as well. Yeah, lots of tucks and places to stick stuff in here for sure. And put a little ticket in there, and look at this guy. It says "we" on it, or maybe it was supposed to be me. I don't know. Maybe that was his initials. I have no idea. Okay, and yet again, another collage belly band here. I guess I was in the mood for belly bands. So anyway, I just stuck this piece there, which is just plain on the back. And look at these ladies. Yep, just hanging out. Fun with friends. So I just stuck that back in there. And this is a page that has been printed, and I also put a little bit of collage on it as well, like a fussy cut piece, and the same on this side. I did put a lot of photographs in here, didn't I, guys? Here's another one. They are outstanding in their field. No, actually, I think they're just outstanding by their house, but I thought it was so pretty. And I loved how it looked. And I think there's flowers behind them, I think. It's hard to tell. Some more pieces here. Put a little lace there, that's real old stuff. Old lace. It's, I would say vintage. I can't say antique. It could be. Some Braille paper that I stained, and a little tiny Tim Holtz tuck. I really collaged pieces on this page, and just stuck some little journaling pieces in there too. And I don't know why I did this page the way I did, but I did. Pieces are floating around, and sometimes they land on my book when I'm working, and it's like, oh, that's cool. So I don't know. Sometimes, and a lot of times things don't work, let me tell you. But for some reason, I kind of like this page. Like, there's an entrance there to a beautiful park, and that's where you go, and she's thinking about going there, and maybe she'll see gorgeous flowers. That was my thought. I'm going to run with that one. And in here, I made now this is some antique lace here, and I just made that into a nice little pocket and stuck some more pieces. This is from a old vintage book, which I put some little bits on. And again, Maine Antiques Digest. I love it because it's just matte and you can write right over it. That's what I love about those. And this is a little antique piece, which I harvested out of a scrapbook. And look at the back. It's like 2 for 1. I just thought that was really cool. And I love the birds. So yeah, I think all these are birds in here. So the birds are under the lace. Here's a little flip with a pocket, and I loved how she was peeking out there, but there's a couple pieces in this pocket. This little lady and a little printable right there, which I put a little bit, I put a little bit of collage on. I want to get her down there. Yeah, I like it how she's peeking out like that. And this, yeah, this is probably an old ledger type piece. There's no date, but it's antique for sure. I did just a little bit of collage there in this large pocket, which I put a journaling card in there. I tried to keep the journaling cards fairly simple, so easier to write on or use. At least that was my thought. Did a little fussy cut here with a little bit there, and same on this side. I put a couple fussy cuts together. Been doing a lot of that lately, haven't I? Here's a couple pieces here in this little tuck. Little tag with a metal eyelet on it. Oh, and in here is another, what do we got in here? Another couple of, or one, or I don't know. I have to feel because I can't tell. No, I think it's just one card in there from a book, harvested from a book, some type of book. Don't remember. Sorry. Here's a little pocket here that I made and put a couple more pieces in there. I told ya, she's really stuffed. And another fussy cut I did there, and over on this side as well. Did leave room for writing, or whatever you wish to do. What's in here? Ah, 2 pieces, 3 pieces. Oh, maybe 1 piece was supposed to go in the other pocket. But anyway, there's pieces in there to journal on. So, yeah. We'll put those back in that pocket. And you know, you can switch things around however you wish. Use some more of that gorgeous wallpaper, which I love how it feels. And just collaged a few bits on there. And then I thought it would be really nice to have a little tiny bit of hidden journaling. If you're like me and you don't remember passwords, there you go. Place to keep passwords. And here's some more of that beautiful wallpaper. I would say probably 1920s. So it's probably 100 years old or around thereabouts. That's what I would say. Another little pocket here with a little journaling card cut from a book. And a little bit of vintage lace on that. And I put a little fussy cut there. Butterflies there on that were printed on this dictionary page. I think this dictionary is from the 1950s, if I remember correctly. Here's a little bird card from, I don't know the date, but it's vintage for sure. And this little piece from a book. And then this, what is this? What do we have here, Val? 1895. A little invoice. I love the stamp. Stamp says December 17th, 1896. Maybe that's 1896 and I'm reading it wrong. I think that's probably more likely that I'm completely lost on that and reading it wrong. That's normal. Another little fussy cut there. And they're matte, so you can write right across them. Not shiny at all. And another one there. That was fun to do. I like that one. And Pepin paper, some printed paper, and then I put this guy. He was like flying around. No, well, maybe pun intended, but anyway, I stuck him on there. And so I made a pocket here. Oh, fussy cut first, and a little bit of cloth there. But I made a pocket here. I had bits and pieces floating around, so I put 3 strips, and then under the strips I put this netting type of lace, and then I secured it around the perimeter to make the pocket. And I put this fussy cut, which was cut on cardstock because I needed something stiff. And I just thought, oh, that made a nice little pocket there. So I just put a nice little stiff tag in there. Works really good. You can actually push it down further if you wish, but I like to have it out where you can pull it out. And I was kind of pleased with that one. All right, more bits and pieces in here. And again, this is that old railroad, I don't know what it was, ledger or something. I had some more of the wallpaper that I put on there where you could write across, and a little old vintage stamp there. This is an envelope that I lined with a piece of paper. It does not go all the way down. As you can see, I just lined a portion of it where you could see, because that's how big my paper was. And I put some little bits and pieces in there to journal on as well. And you know, this is great for little keepsakes or whatever you wish to put in there. Let's see if I can get it closed up. I can. And slip that down in there. And I think this is a little Tim Holtz piece here, and some vintage lace, which I stitched. And this is some type of handmade paper. And I don't think, no, I didn't stain this. I think this is as is. Yeah. Here's another pocket that I made out of that botanical imagery. I have some antique botanical imagery that I made copies of, and I just love it. I love those. They're beautiful. But here's a little journal card there, and this was made from a book with bits and pieces added. Oh yeah, it's a little pocket. You can, yeah, you can use that way if you wish. And here's a little tuck I made here out of some Timmy pieces. I just like this photograph. It's just really cool. I guess somebody took a picture of something. Maybe they were driving by or walking by, but I think it's some woods or something, but I don't know. I couldn't see anything there to really take a picture of. I just thought the scenery was pretty. Maybe it was their first visit to Florida because it almost looks like cypress trees, cypress knees there. And this was taken from a book, which I'm going to put there. And then, of course, I made a little, or this is from a Tim Holtz, which I put a little eyelet on for a little tag. More collage here with a fussy cut and some of the wallpaper and washi tape and a little bit from something. And another fussy cut there. And another little collage there. And, oh yeah, a little transparency here, which I put these little bits and pieces in there. And look at these happy people, probably from the 1920s. That's what it looks like to me. Oh yeah, I did back it because I think it was harvested out of a scrapbook, so the back was messed up, so I wanted to make sure you could write on it. Okay, I put little bits and pieces there. What have we got here? Oh, yet another belly band. We need another belly band here. Then I put this little piece of a turkey in. We see a lot of turkeys in our field. So I don't know. It just reminded me of summer and being out in a field, which now you know what I'm talking about, hopefully, if you saw my previous video. All right, so some pieces there to journal on, and I had more pieces of the transparency. So I had this little postcard. This is not original, and I had a little stamp, which was printed. So I just thought, well, I'm going to make a little pocket. So I stitched around here, and yeah, I put a little journaling piece with an old stamp, in there. So I thought, that would make a nice little place to stick a journal card or paper or whatever, and there you go. And I did a lot of little collage on this pocket too with pieces that were floating around. I know, surprise, surprise, huh? Sometimes random really works. Sometimes it doesn't. All right, here's a little tuck here. And another little old photograph. Look at the grunge on the back of that. I had to leave it as is. And you can easily write on that for sure. And some little bits and pieces there that I thought would be fun to use to your heart's content. So there you go. And here we are at the very last part. The inside of the back cover, which I put, of course, my card. And this is this has got pockets. It's a tag with a lot of stuff stuffed in it in pockets. So anyway, if anybody is interested in this journal, whoever would like to have it, you get to discover what's all in there. So okay, well, I'm winded and it's been almost 30 minutes. So thank you so much for joining me. The only thing that I want to do is apologize for the last time I put up a journal. I said what time it would be available in my Etsy, and Etsy went live sooner than I thought. So my apologies to anyone that really wanted a day ledger, but there'll be more, no worries. And this little lady will be available in my Etsy as well. I'll put the specifics down below. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to all of you, especially to those who comment. I love your comments. Thank you. And have a great day or evening, wherever you're at. Bye now.